Hello and welcome to the Movie Podcast. My name is Shahbaz and I am joined by my two other podcast hosts. I went so basic with it, but I think it was fitting. You know what? I am fasting, so that's why my brain probably isn't working at the speed of light that it normally does.
Is that how fast your brain works?
It's the speed of light.
That's too fast, dude.
Too fast. That's why I forget a lot of things, because I already went past it.
Dude, I'm like 100,000 kilometers away from what you just said.
What?
That's the speed of light, right?
I don't know.
I'm not a fucking
This guy's
scientist.
asking me like
I'm no scientist. Don't ask me.
like I'm a cop at the end of a road stop or something. No, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
we didn't ask if you were
We
doing
didn't
it.
ask. No,
Yeah.
we didn't.
Wow,
ask
you guys being so mean to me.
Oh, you're fasting, right? So
Yeah, it's
isn't
gotta
that part of
be-
the fasting?
It's got to be, you got to be nice. I'm the host.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually kick it to none of you guys. I'm just going to continue with the show. As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure you're following us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to us. Give us 5 stars, leave a comment if you can on whatever app it is, and join our Discord as well. If you want to write into the show, you can write into hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca. Check out our show notes below for all that stuff and more. Like I mentioned at the top of our show, I'm joined by these two awful human beings.
I thought you were going to call us assholes.
No, it's Ramadan. I'm trying to be nice, but I'm still going to call you awful human beings.
We don't have to be nice because we're not fasting.
But why do you have to be mean though?
But that's part of your fasting.
It's not.
The movie podcast.
I don't think so.
The movie
I'm gonna leave
podcast,
Anthony alone on an island.
When
for
Shay
this one.
fasts, we
Yeah.
have to be mean. When he doesn't fast, we're not mean.
I have like
have to
very
make it-
short temperature. I have very short temper when I'm hungry.
I know. That's the
Yeah.
best part. That's what we have to do. We have to like push you to the limit.
just-
I
You
don't
can do that.
want
I don't
to,
think-
man.
I don't think Daniel wants to.
No, I want to make this easier for him, man.
Yeah.
I want to make it hard for him.
I thought you were Libros, man. What happened?
We are Libros.
Not during
Not during fasting.
Not during Ramadan.
Not during Ramadan. No.
All right, that's fine. Anthony,
Shay-
how you doing today?
Okay.
Yeah, that's enough for you. Daniel, how are you doing today?
Good. I was about to ask you, how are you doing though?
You know, I'm doing great. We're only on the 3rd, 4th day. I don't know. My days are kind of blurring together now. And also, I don't want to give clues to when we're recording this.
It's
Like Blue's Clues?
Yeah.
we can say it's the day before it comes out.
It's the day before it could come out.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell anybody when, but you'll know by our news when we're recording this at least.
Updated as
yeah.
Sunday, March 26th.
We have the box office of the weekend and you don't even know? Yeah, not going to talk about it.
Yeah. No, I'm good. Thank you for asking. I know you kind of asked, but I'm good.
I didn't ask. I asked.
This is the final episode, main episode that we're doing in my 20s.
Oh, okay. So by you, for some reason. I didn't even know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let's talk
we
about
have-
Ramadan a little bit.
We
more.
have
Yeah.
to shoot out some fireworks right now. Daniel's turning the big 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah. I
In a
turned
week.
30. I turned 30 on the show as well. And it aged me very quickly.
Yeah.
You turned what, 50 on the show, Anthony?
I turned 50, look 20.
Yeah.
50 going on 20.
Yeah.
50
We
going on
agree
20.
Yeah,
with
for
that.
sure.
Yes.
But how do you feel about turning 30, Daniel?
It's an interesting feeling. I mean, you guys have experienced it. Like, I don't think about it too much. Like, it's not something that I'm like, oh, like my life's going to change drastically now. But it's definitely something that you're just like, oh, that's an interesting number to see associated with the years that I've been alive. you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I think people make a big deal out of turning 30. It kind of just came and went, and I was like, oh, another day. I'm alive.
And I also think it's like just one of those things that, like, in shows and in movies, it's always felt like this is the big one. This is
Yeah.
the biggest birthday you'll ever have.
Yeah.
And then you don't celebrate it anymore. It's like, why?
Yeah. It's weird.
silly.
Well,
It's
when
a
you
weird
turn
one.
40.
You know, turn 40, yeah.
And then you
But
turn
why
50
can't I have
and
a
60.
birthday at 31? You know what I mean?
Well,
Well,
I
because
had a
it's-
birthday at 31.
We all
You
have
did, yeah.
birthdays at 31 unless we die.
No, Anthony.
right?
Yeah,
Daniel
don't do
didn't.
that. I haven't yet.
Well, I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he won't.
Maybe he won't.
Maybe I
this
won't even
last
make
year.
it. Maybe I won't even make it to 30.
Well,
Maybe let's
we're hoping.
age this
We're
episode
hoping.
really
We're all
badly in a
hoping.
week.
No, when I turned 30, it just felt like, okay. But I think once it became 31, 32, 33, 34, you know, like it just, the longer you go down that ladder
yeah.
and you get closer to the 40, and then you kind of think of, what the fuck did I do with my life? Type of
Yeah.
thing. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like, what the fuck?
Like I'm turning 32 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all
Yeah, no
closer
kids.
to the other number than
To death.
the younger numbers, right?
Yeah.
That's how it also looks like. Oh, I'm closer to being older.
Yeah.
But that's just a number. Like, really, look at me. I don't look my age, and I don't act my age, and there are people who generational wise represent a certain type of people. Like they have a wife and they have kids and they own a home, but like that's just
it's weird. It's weird
just a
seeing
weird
that, right?
thing.
Like I'll be at like a party with my friends, and then like some of them are married and some of them are like, oh, we're thinking about having kids, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go watch Mario next week. What about
you have like your Mario hat on?
Yeah,
and a mustache.
I'm like, what about you? It's not a costume party. Sorry, I shouldn't have shown up like this. It's interesting. Yeah, but yeah, you feel good about it?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I'm excited to celebrate, and I'm excited to have like a fun week leading into it. I like celebrating my birthday all month. So
nice.
Every episode this month will mention my birthday.
Probably not. No,
I will mention my birthday every episode.
We're gonna just ignore it.
We're only having one episode this month, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do just one episode.
No,
it's
other
not even
interviews or
April
reviews.
yet. So
No, not even on our Mario review,
No.
which is wild that we're going to be seeing
yes,
Mario on my actual birthday.
it's just unfortunate. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting how life.
We're
happens
hoping
that
for a new pandemic that week.
yeah,
Yeah.
But like you and I can go see it still.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just
For some
depends.
reason, Daniel gets a flat tire. Reason
Yeah.
my
Well, if
car.
Daniel gets COVID, he can't go watch it.
Oh, that's
and if he
true.
does, we will tell the
I
world.
know a guy that sells
If
COVID.
I can't go, nobody can go. That's all I'm
we'll
going
go.
to say. No.
Did Universal
Not
hear
even
that?
you guys.
Universal, that was a threat.
No one can
That was
go.
a threat. Universal.
Universal. I
No
think
one's seeing that movie on
we need
on my
to
birthday
make
if I can.
arrangements
Yeah.
for Daniel.
We need special security.
yeah.
This was just want to be clear. This was not a threat.
Yeah, I don't know.
This was a
that's
polite
like a
reminder
near 30-year-old threat right
that
now.
I think it would be really mean if other people could see it, but we couldn't see it.
Daniel's
No, no,
turning
you-
extremism
Yeah.
when he turns 30, right? That's your
Unhinged. Yeah, that's what I heard.
you're Russell Crowe.
I'm following your guys' example. When you turn 30, just go crazy.
yes.
I'm pretty sane.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see.
I'm on your side right now.
Well, I've also heard
You guys
I'm older,
turning
right?
on
So
each
I've
other
turned
already.
crazy a bit.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten to that point.
Not there. You're like what, 37?
37, yeah.
Yeah, so you're definitely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are clinically insane.
I am.
It's been a while since we have a main episode.
Hadn't had a main proper episode, and I say proper because
proper.
we recently had a main episode, which was our live show. Let's talk about our live show a bit. We had a live show. Was it last week?
It was last
Oh
week.
my god, time
It
is
feels
weird.
like a month ago.
It feels weird for sure because I'm like, oh my god, yes. We had a live show. We were joined by the absolutely talented, the extremely lovely Eric Bauza, voice of many voices, to be honest with you. Most recently coming up in the new Super Mario Bros. Movie, he will be a voice as well. But he's the voice of Bugs Bunny and also recently won an Emmy for that role as well, along with other voices that he's done on the Looney Tunes shows. And we had him on our show, and we've had him on our show before as well. And he became such a great friend of ours that we were lucky enough to kind of say, hey, if you're going to be at Toronto Comic Con this weekend, why not come to our live show? Because we didn't really know that we were doing a live show until like a week out.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, okay, well, let's try to get together as much stuff as we can. So whatever you saw or heard that day was about less than a week's worth of preparation.
It was, but again, thank you to our friends at Sonar for thinking of us. You know, they were like, hey, we have an opportunity. We know it's very quick and fast turnaround, but yes or no, do you want to do this? And then it came together very fast. So thank you to
Absolutely.
them. Thank you to Eric for sharing for sharing his time with us.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody who came out because you had a really great turnout.
We had a great turnout.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Eric Bauza fans and people that even listened to us. And
Yeah.
that was weird. It was weird seeing people being like, hey, I listen to you guys. I'm like, why?
Us?
Why? Me?
Yeah.
Little old me?
Yeah, that was
no,
really cool. It was a fun
ve-
experience. It was,
it
a
was
really
very
cool
cool.
experience. Hopefully, we get to do more of that in the future.
I think so. And Anthony, you joined us as well for the live show. How did you like it?
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
All right.
Now, no
you guys,
words.
You
No
guys
words.
summed it up
Not
pretty
gonna
well.
get over to you anymore.
Was there any controversy? No, it was a really.
I don't think I was even.
I don't know. I
hinting
just look
towards
at
that.
like what wild things can happen during these events,
Yeah.
and
the fun that people had.
I was
the
looking
joy.
for like a streaker to show up.
No,
like with
no,
the
there was
movie
kids.
podcast, you know, on
Yeah.
on their chest.
the chest,
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
stomach.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't get any of that.
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully,
really.
we do in the future.
I hope not.
Why?
No, I pray to God that everything goes smooth.
We
for
did get a
us.
guy who wanted to give us his resume.
And he did.
and he did.
A lot of resumes.
Yeah, which happens. I mean, I'm sure this is part of the business, and
Yeah.
hey, we welcome it. Please don't send us your resumes though, because I'll be honest, we're not going to be able to do anything with them.
Because
No.
we will actually give you our resume. That's how it works.
Oh, is that resume for resume?
Resume for resume. We'll
Yeah,
trade
we'll
it back.
trade resumes.
A soul for a soul.
Yeah.
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 Well, okay, why not?
I don't know about that.
We'll try it. We'll try it. Maybe we'll be like a Patreon tier that we do, you know, like just submit your resume Not even give us money. Just submit your resume, then we'll send our resumes back.
Yeah, and we'll critique it. We'll be like, really? You like to laugh as your skill? That's not a good skill.
Under special skills is like listening to every episode of the movie podcast.
I actually, when I used to work in retail, I got handed a resume once that said under skills laughing, and I was like, whoa. What kind of laugh is this? I gotta know. I gotta hear this laugh. The guy left, unfortunately. He left. Also did give me a headshot. I'm like, I don't know what store he thinks he's applying to, but this is not that kind of a store.
That's funny. That's so funny.
It's very weird. And also he put under skills that he's Portuguese. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, and
he loves Mario. He loves Mario.
He loves Mario.
That's all you need.
Turns 30 in April. I was like, I don't know why this person's giving a resume to me right now, but here we are. No, but our live show was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Again, super grateful to Sonar and Eric Baza for giving us that opportunity. I think we had an absolute blast. And again, to more live shows in the future.
Huzzah.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be doing live shows internationally. Maybe we'll do them at other cons, like across America or something.
Yeah, other cons and other continents. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how do we do other cons? Like, how do we do, like, if we were invited to Japan, do we just, like, do we have, like, an interpreter?
Maybe.
I mean, those are logistics. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
You can do the interpreting. No,
me?
actually, no. I take it back.
No.
I take it back.
Jay, what did you just?
I opened up Pandora's box.
No.
Unplug his mic. Unplug his mic.
But yeah, we'll when we cross that bridge.
Literally, because we have to cross.
We have to cross the bridge to get there. We'll figure that out.
Yes,
but there's also a lot of English speakers in Japan. So
I believe so. There's a lot of English speakers everywhere. It's the most prominent language out there, right?
English.
I thought it was Mandarin at this point.
Well, I guess technically semantics, probably Mandarin.
I don't.
Do you see Mandarin?
I don't, but my mom wanted me to, and
today, or
she's like, "Oh, this is the language of the future, right?" Yeah. So
if you guys could choose any language to be fluent
I was like,
in,
not.
Mandarin would be definitely one that I'd like to know.
You would choose Mandarin?
Yeah,
as fluent in Mandarin.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would choose it.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy to like learn it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But if I could
100%.
upload a language to you right now, you would choose Mandarin?
100%.
Interesting.
100%. 100%.
Okay. That's
I don't know how many times.
Calm down.
That won't help us when we're in Japan, I'll be honest with you. But
Well, if you can upload Mandarin, you can upload Japanese.
Only one, dude. I'm not giving this ad for free.
Okay. Well.
Any announcements that we have?
We just have a lot of episodes out. I mean, March has been a wild month. We've been really lucky to have some incredible special guests and a lot of reviews dropping. So obviously go check out our reviews of Creed, of John Wick 4, which is out now, of Scream 6, of Dungeons and Dragons, which is coming out this week. Reviews out, movies coming out later this week. We also have been really lucky to have some incredible special guests joining us. So we had the cast of The Night Agent join us from Netflix, including Hong Chow, which is pretty amazing that was able to happen. We had the cast of Boston Strangler joining us, which was a lot of fun. They didn't strangle us, but we did have a lot of fun with Alessandro Nivola and Chris Cooper, who we are just such huge fans of, especially going back to The Town and all of his films, which is incredible. And coming up this week, we will have some of the casts of The Big Door Prize, which is a brand new Apple TV Plus show. We have Rob Lowe, his son, John Owen Lowe, and some of the cast of Unstable, which is another Netflix show coming out. And then out now, which dropped last night, is our Succession Season 4 Episode 1 spoiler-filled review. So if you like what we're doing there, please support us. Make sure you're following us on all of our socials so you could see all of the incredible videos and posts that we have so you could stay up to date with everything going on the movie podcast.
Yeah.
I also want to shout out you, Shay, because now that it's officially wrapped up, the Last of Us after show, you took us through every episode of that.
Yes.
We had a great time doing that. We were really lucky to have some incredible special guests joining us too.
Oh my God.
Including Lamar Johnson and Troy Baker. So
First after show
that we've done, we had some huge
and the
cast
last.
member.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, we were really lucky to have them join us on that. So if you're only starting The Last of Us now, or you're planning on watching it, whenever you're done that episode, go listen to our after show for it, because we have some really great discussions that will lead you through. And I think those episodes really do stand on their own with the longevity of this show. So as the shows are coming up, make sure you go listen to us talk about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
You're welcome.
We, when it comes to the after shows, they were a lot of work. they were a lot of fun. And I'm glad that people really liked them. Like there was a lot of good conversation based on those after shows. So thank you so much for everyone that listened, because they were definitely a very different thing that you've seen from us. So yeah. But let's jump into the news. We have a lot of news. Before we do the news jingle, we just have a lot of news. Some of it is very sensitive. Some of it is still breaking as well. So some of our thoughts and opinions on it may not be the most accurate based on the time that this episode does come out. So do please bear that in mind.
Sure.
So Marvel Studios veteran Victoria Alonso exits. This comes from Boris Kit, Aaron Couch of The Hollywood Reporter. This is huge news. I remember when it dropped, we were all just like shocked. Like it was like a shell shock. It was like nothing could be bigger than this news this week, and we were wrong. So Victoria Alonso, the longtime and high-profile Marvel Studios executive whose time with the company dates back to the first Iron Man film, has left the studio. Multiple sources have told The Hollywood Reporter. According to insiders, Alonso breached a 2018 agreement that included the company's standards of business conduct, which states that employees cannot work for competing studios. Sources say that Alonso did not ask permission to work on Argentina 1985, which was nominated for an Oscar. However, IndieWire does state that she did get permission to do that. So when Disney found out about the project and the violation, her long-term service and veteran status led the company to give her a dispensation on the condition that she did not work on the movie further. According to Alonso's attorney, Patty Glazer, she released a statement after the initial publication of the story that the idea that Victoria was fired over a handful of press interviews relating to a personal passion project about human rights and democracy that was nominated for an Oscar and which she got Disney's blessing to work on is absolutely ridiculous. Victoria, a gay Latina who had the courage to criticize Disney, was silenced. Then she was terminated when she refused to do something she believed was reprehensible. Disney and Marvel made a really poor decision that will have serious consequences. There's a lot more to the story, and Victoria will be telling it shortly in one form or another. So we don't know right now if this story has expanded beyond anything other than what I just read right now. This is insane. I mean, Victoria Alonso really was behind a lot of the visual effects for Marvel Studios. She was really leading that charge. And it's interesting because in the past, let's just say the past couple of years, Marvel has really come into a lot of scrutiny for their visual effects. They've been really, highlighted. And again, it might be an echo chamber on Twitter that does it as well, where you just see people posting like really shitty screen grabs and being like, oh, look at these visual effects. Some warranted for sure. Some I don't think were warranted. But Daniel, please give us your thoughts on what's going on here with Victoria and this whole messy business.
Yeah. So like you said, like I want to preface this by saying like nothing is official on either side yet. Right. We know the statement that Victoria Alonso's team put out is accurate, but the sources that she was fired because of her work on this film, again, sources are saying that, so we don't know if that's accurate. And I feel like there's a couple things that go through my head. Why wouldn't have Disney had an issue with this the last couple years that she was working on it? Were they just waiting for it because it was nominated for an Oscar? They didn't want to look like a bad guys during it. They wanted to give it its time before they put any extra like influence on the release of it while people are voting and stuff like that. Maybe that could that be it? Like I don't know, and I don't think this is why she was let go.
No,
I honestly think what, like you were saying, Shane, like we've discussed here on the show for a while, is that especially this year, and I think especially in the last year, I really think it's been since the pandemic that we've been seeing and hearing a lot of discussion online about there is such a vast spectrum of like what visual effects look like in the Marvel shows and films. And when you look at what Marvel has put out in the span of 2 years
right
on Disney Plus, 18 projects between film and shows and specials, that's madness. And that's not even including all the other project that Disney has going on and what other studios are working on, right? So VFX workers who are not unionized are under the pressure, and as Victoria Alonso is the president of post-production and the president of that for Marvel Studios, you should be the one leading the charge on that. And we've heard, allegations, of course, of other VFX workers saying like that she is a very difficult person to work with, and and it's not just her, because it is the industry at whole. But as Marvel is the leaders of this and the ones who are churning out the most content, you need to be, you need to give people proper breaks and time to work on stuff and not just be constantly churning out stuff without giving people time to do what they do. So I don't know if this firing is stemming from Marvel just needing to course correct. And Bob Iger has already said that, you know, Marvel going forward is going to be putting out less shows and movies, which I think is a very smart move because the you know, the shotgun blast of stuff that we've been getting, it's hard for us to keep up with it just to talk about it. I can't imagine the people who are actually working on them, right?
Yeah, and people are missing out on great quality content out there.
You know, because there's just so much happening. So I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I think we'll hopefully get the full story in the next couple weeks with statements coming out and putting out. Could it have been as was this documentary was Amazon, right? It was an Amazon Studios doc. Could it have been Argentina? Like, could that have been their excuse? But I feel like there's more to the story, and I think there's a lot of factors at play here that we'll hopefully get the answer soon. But there's a lot to it, and to have a figurehead, like when you look at Kevin Feige, like as the head of the studio, Victoria Alonso is number 2.
Yeah.
So to lose your number 2 is a really huge deal, and I think it's really going to shake up Marvel going forward.
Yeah, Anthony, what about yourself?
When the headline was announced on, was it Thursday? And I saw it, the first thing that came to mind was VFX.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be VFX. It must be like the VFX artists, you know, probably having some sort of backlash against Alonso because it was always this amount of work that she wanted them to do, and I know from other people and people from the industry how they felt about Alonso and how she was very hard to work with when it came to creating visuals and, you know, the time crunch and the amount of work that went into it. So that's the first thing that came to mind. I didn't even know she was a producer on Argentina in 1985, and then now to learn that there's more to this story. I can't speculate. The world that we live in right now is, I can't even trust the sources anymore. Like, these sources are contradicting each other.
Yeah.
They're not legitimate, and they're coming from Deadline, they're coming from the Hollywood Reporter, they're coming from all these legitimate places, but it doesn't seem like they have the clear answer and clear story. So we'll see what it looks like in the next couple of weeks, and where you know, the lawyers have now said, you know, the truth will come out and all that stuff, and Disney and where they stand. I'm very interested to hear what caused this firing, because it's out of the blue. I really thought, okay, well, this is because of the VFX and how the world of VFX artists feel,
especially
within
after
the Marvel.
Ant-Man, right? Ant-Man was one of those films that we kept hearing, like, oh, people were taking off Ant-Man to finish Wakanda Forever, and then, you know, Ant-Man performing, still making almost 500 million, but making a lot less than Marvel, and I think a lot of people anticipated, even us, you know. The movie came out, it was what it was. You could hear our review of it, our spoiler-free thoughts of it. But there's you just wonder, like, okay, in this world where lots of people are being laid off, lots of companies are starting to, you know, steer the ship in different directions, to lose, at least with Marvel, which Marvel has always, you know, pretty much had success at the box office, you know, pending some years in the pandemic, to lose a figurehead like that is a huge deal. Like, that is like foundation shaking.
And the narrative now that's being pictured is like discriminatory by Disney, that, oh, she was gay and she was a Latina, which I'm like, I can't see that in Disney's world right now because of everything they've changed, and Bob being there and Kevin, and it just doesn't seem like that's,
and her being such an advocate of that in their projects, right?
Yeah. And like, even the projects down the road that they're now producing and all, I just don't see that being, why would they put themselves in a situation where they're attacking minorities?
And Victoria was really liked too by the studios and by people that she worked with. She's very much a trailblazer in that industry, right?
Was she liked by VFX artists and VFX studios? That's another thing.
Yeah, right? But that's the thing, right? Like, and it could be different with, like, we've heard like conflicting reports and stuff too, where it's like, you know, if again, sources say if she liked you, then you're good, you're okay, but if they didn't, then you would struggle, right?
And we've all had people like that in our lives that literally, like, if you're on their good side, you're on their good side, and it sucks. It's a shitty way of living, but You look back at all those reports that come out from anybody that's been in the VFX industry saying like how difficult a Marvel job is. And from the outside, you can see that and tell that like it must be really hard to work with Marvel because secrecy is their key ingredient. So constantly building assets and different things that probably won't even appear in the movies just to persuade or dissuade people away from their work. It must be a lot of work. Like you look back at Infinity War, the trailer, you had VFX shots created for that film that were meant to just be in the trailer. Right. So it's a tough situation. Really, the only other thing in this article left is kind of what we already discussed right now. These VFX houses are constantly working on giant films. They're probably not being paid a lot because a lot of them go under so quickly as well after making a film.
They're like pop-up shops.
They're literally pop-up shops.
It's wild.
VFX artists make good money because the hours are so.
They work a lot of overtime.
Yeah, it's a lot of overtime. And it's a lot of like no life just for us, the audience, to have these amazing shows on. And then Victoria being part of the biggest visual effects usage of a company, Disney and Marvel, it puts a lot of stress on these studios, and then they tend to like crash and burn because they just don't have
or people just burn out of the industry. And
I know
there's a shortage of VFX
I know
workers, right?
So many people who'll do like contract work, and they'll do a project for 8-9 months, and then they got to take another 8-9 months off because of the amount of work they did in 8-9 months is like over tons of hours. Tons of hours, and it's no life, no nothing.
And it's wild to think that like this is an issue that still hasn't been solved, and we're only going into more films and shows now that are so lenient on visual effects. Like you look at Life of Pi winning Best Visual Effects, where that studio that did the effects didn't even exist anymore. And it's like that's the industry that we're in right now. And again, we need to like I'm really curious to see what's going to come of all of this, because this is very earth-shattering. This is a very crucial moment for Marvel, especially what we're going to talk about next. But it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to come of this. Are we going to hear Kevin Feige drop a statement? Is Bob Iger going to drop a statement? Are we going to get some type of clarity of what's happening moving forward? Because there's going to be some big changes coming.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is going to be a big shift. I think you also just need more than one person kind of managing that VFX household. Like I think you need two people on that, because that's also a lot of responsibility for Victoria. Like she shouldn't have had to deal with all of that.
I wonder what the breakdown is, because obviously, like, I don't think she's just the one like approving shots off.
No,
because they have the directors and their producers for each project.
Absolutely.
But if she's the president of it, so she's the top of the person who's making those relationships. I'm just curious what that hierarchy looks like. Within Marvel, and if they are going to, kind of reassess that. Like they have, like Marvel internal has something called the Parliament, which is something that they do for creating the next 10 years worth of stories.
Right.
I'm curious if their solution for Victoria is not replacing her with one person, but a council of people.
I think you need more than one person.
Who will counsel people.
It's a lot, considering that now your studio is so heavily reliant on VFX.
Yeah.
I think you need more than one person.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how this documentary factors into it too, if that was the actual reason.
I feel like that's just the scapegoat answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1985, Argentina 95 was being made for a very long time, and it was been nominated for many awards before that, and they knew Alonso was part of it. So to kind of like say, and this is not from Disney.
It's just sources.
This is sources, like
speculation,
random people at this point saying that was the reasoning. I just don't think that's legitimate.
It's an Amazon,
it's very
film.
Suspect.
Yeah.
Because at the that movie, like if it was such a conflict of interest, which it's not, she's not making a superhero film. She's not. I don't know how much money that movie made. It's an international film. It's
a documentary.
There's not a lot. There's no visual effects, I don't think, that went into it.
I hope so.
But
they recreated.
They
Argentina
put
in 1985,
and they put Iron Man in it.
Yeah.
But I just everything's suspect right now. Everything is so up in the air, and we'll see what happens, and maybe we'll never know. Maybe we'll never know.
Maybe we'll never know.
No, I think
I feel like Victoria is very adamant to get the
truth out.
The truth out, but I don't know if the truth is truthful. Like, you know, like I don't know if her truth is real.
Right.
Is she truthing or not?
At one point, she was an executive. She was second in line to Kevin Feige. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
This week is going to be interesting. We're going to find out a lot. Our next story is Jonathan Majors arrested for alleged assault. Representative says actor has done nothing wrong. This is coming from Chrissy Pina of The Hollywood Reporter. Jonathan Majors was arrested Saturday after being accused of assaulting a woman during a domestic dispute, the New York Police Department said in a statement. A representative for the Creed 3 actor told The Hollywood Reporter he has done nothing wrong. We look forward to clearing his name and clearing this up. Police said they responded to a 911 call at an apartment in Chelsea where a 33-year-old male was involved in a domestic dispute with a 30-year-old female. The victim informed police she was assaulted. Officers placed the 33-year-old male into custody without incident. According to the statement, which identified the male as Majors, the actor was arrested on charges of strangulation, assault, and harassment. According to the spokesperson, he is no longer in police custody. The woman sustained minor injuries to her head and neck and was taken to a hospital. This is again also still very fresh news, so there isn't too much out there other than what I have just read. And this is very alarming news. And first of all, from all of us here, we really hope that this woman is doing good, that she's healing and she's getting better, because being in a domestic abuse situation is always very tough, and people sometimes don't go out there and get the help that they need. And if you do need help out there and you are in a situation like this, seek the help, because you don't want to be in a situation like this as well. Anthony, please give us your thoughts on this situation.
Well, again, this is another story that I can't really speak on because it's all up in the air. Like, I don't like. Again, Jonathan Majors was arrested for assault. Everyone is now put him into the guilty. You know, the moment you're arrested for anything, you're guilty.
Yeah.
You know, you're not innocent proven.
There's no trial. There's no trial at all.
It's guilty until proven innocent type thing. But even then, it will still follow you.
So I don't know if this is a common occurrence. This was a situation where, there was a domestic fight and it went out of control. Now we have people from all parts of the Twitterverse saying, well, this is not uncommon. I actually have these stories and this and this and this. And I'm like, man, I'm not listening to anything until it's factual news, yes, Jonathan Majors assaulted a woman. Yes, this is facts. These are things that have happened. Because at this point, it's all hearsay. I don't know who to believe. I don't know who to like. And I hope that this is not the case, because, we like Jonathan Majors. We don't want him to be assaulting women. We don't want him to be in a situation where he's had several incidences in his past.
Right.
There'll always be stuff now, especially, we've already seen it on Twitter, where people are now going to come out of the woodwork and be like, well, I worked with Jonathan Majors and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera happened to me. And you start to see this come out. How much of it is truth? How much of it is just cannon fodder at this point is going to be tough to say. We will start to find out more. But Daniel, please give us your thoughts on the situation as well.
Yeah, it's sad. And obviously not to discredit, the stories that people, there was a lot of people out there that, will start piling on. And we saw this too, where people feel like it's more safer to share their stories now because someone else has come forward or something else has happened. But like both of you, this is extremely disheartening to see and to find out this news. And when we saw it break, I'm like, it was a TMZ thing, and we're like, oh, okay, God, TMZ. And then we're seeing more and more outlets reporting on it, and we're seeing, obviously, everyone's wondering now, what's Marvel going to do? That's not what we're speculating today. No. That's not. If you're here trying to see what, who should replace him as Kang, no, that's not what we're doing here. But we are just saying, like, this is awful. This sucks. I hope that this isn't this case that would happen. And if it is the case, then, it's the reality of the world that we're in right now. And, proper actions need to be taken when it comes to things like that. But it sucks. It really is it's an awful situation. It was such an awful thing to read. I felt like such a lump in my stomach because you have somebody who had such a meteoric rise this year. We had, because we were at Sundance, we had Magazine Dreams, we had Ant-Man, which was the best part of that film. and then we had Creed 3, which fantastic in all three, and that was within the first 2.5 months of this year.
Yeah.
And now to follow it up with this, I'm really curious what's going to happen moving forward. I don't know what's going to happen, police wise, like law wise this week. I'm sure we're going to get a lot more news coming out of this, which of course it's going to happen. But we haven't done like we did our live show last week, but when we're coming back and it's just coming back to, I think, a string of just not great news. It's hard to talk about it because most of our episodes we get to joke and have a good time, but we also have to cover the other side of that coin, right?
Yeah, the episodes that I host, we unfortunately talk about bad news only.
Yeah. No, but I hope whatever was going on here, I hope the woman who was assaulted, I hope she's okay. We hope that she's all right, and I hope whatever has happened, the correct justice will come for that.
Yes, I hope. All I hope is that the truth comes out. Whatever actually happened is what is told to us this week.
And it's not us. This is us also not like denouncing that, like, oh, didn't happen, did not. No, this is us just saying, like,
I need facts.
We need to, like, the story needs to come out. Like, it's either, this happened, this is the facts, this is what happened, and then we move forward from that. We can only discuss the truth.
Situations like
100%.
No, go ahead.
No, that's what I say. The facts are the facts, right? Like, we don't know. We weren't there. We weren't with Jonathan Majors. We weren't with this woman who was assaulted. Yeah. What if she was assaulting him? We don't know. There's so many things that are happening, but the world will always see Jonathan Majors as, no, he assaulted this woman right now. That's how they see it.
Yeah.
And we can relate it to Ezra Miller, who has had tons of issues. The guy is friggin' a GTA character, going on rampages, assaulting people, and he still has a movie coming out. He still is part of.
It's wild, right? It's wild.
And I wanted to ask you guys, like, where do you think Disney would fit if, okay, this is something, Jonathan Majors did assault this woman,
right?
And then he actually assaulted other people. These stories
have proven that this is something that happens.
So it's like, how many situations does it take, or assaults does it take to get to Disney figure out, well, what do
we recast? Right?
Do we recast, or do we let him go?
I don't know.
Warner Brothers didn't do that. Warner Brothers is still with Ezra Miller, and that guy was fucking beating up everyone, punching grandmothers,
and then apparently having like guns and kids. Yeah, there was a lot. And here's the thing too, and I also think that it's really hard to think about what's going to happen, and I feel like no matter what is the case moving forward, even with Ezra Miller, even with Jonathan Majors, and like that, those allegations, those realities will always follow them, right? And it's a shame that if this does come out and be like, he didn't do anything wrong, as his claims, as his reps claim, but he will forever be associated with this. So I just hope whatever truth comes out is like correct, and is that justice is served based on that.
And stories like this always make it harder for victims of abuse to come forward. And I hope that that's not the case here. I hope that if you are somebody out there who, again, like I said in the beginning, needs the help, there are a lot of resources out there. If you are in a situation where you feel unsafe the way you're living, reach out to people, reach out to friends, reach out to people you trust, because you don't deserve to be that way.
No, not at all.
Our next story is Funko cuts back Mondo movie poster business, lays off co-founders and other staff. This comes from Todd Spangler of Variety. Funko, less than a year after acquiring high-end collectibles brand Mondo, has wound down Mondo's current movie poster business and let go several employees, including Mondo co-founders Mitch Putnam and Rob Jones, Variety has confirmed. Mondo, based in Austin, Texas, was founded in 2004 and was previously a subsidiary of indie theater chain Alamo Drafthouse before Funko inked the deal to buy it last year for $14 million. Mondo had gained a strong following for its limited edition screen printed movie posters. For now, it appears that Mondo's poster division is defunct. However, a source familiar with the situation said Funko expects Mondo to continue producing posters going forward. Funko declined to comment on that news. This was such heartbreaking news. As soon as I saw this come out, I was so shattered. I love Mondo. All three of us love Mondo. We all have Mondo prints, especially Anthony. You have like a treasure trove of Mondo prints.
You know, these prints right now, if anyone wants them, $1 million.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
You don't seem to be that affected than I thought. Then actually, you seem to be doing pretty well. Jeez. I take it all back. This is, and you know, we've been seeing a lot of different things coming out about this too, where people are saying that they're going to stop the poster business but continue the record business for the remainder of the year, and then so on and so forth. There's a lot that's kind of happening here. Anthony, as the resident Mondo head here, what are your thoughts on all this?
I hate it. I was really shocked when it broke on Friday. I was absolutely like, there's no way this is the company that actually really started and made screen prints and movie poster prints popular, made it, we'll say, somewhat mainstream.
Yeah.
And to have a company just dissolve, like the founders, this is the main identity of what we all love about movie posters and just artistic versions of different film posters, to be closed down. It was just so shocking, man. I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was like, there's no way. Yeah. Because I'm like, didn't Funko buy
Not
Mondo?
Even a year ago. Less than a year ago.
Yeah. And the whole idea was, I'm guessing they were hurting for money then, because that's a big reason why they sold, was to get a bigger company to support everything that they were doing, and get better licenses,
exactly,
and do all this stuff.
When we saw this, we're like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. That but makes sense, because Funko has every single license imaginable to them. Maybe they'll open them up to their resources, their shipping.
That was the reason too. The owner said, like, we wanted to own Mondo because we thought that our licensing with other brands could work with creating their business and making them bigger.
Right.
Clearly.
And this is the reality when you have larger companies buying smaller companies like this, that they see them as cannon fodder to just, we could, 30 employees are now out of jobs who worked with us. And as Shay said, we all love Mondo. We hope everyone that has been affected by this finds new jobs, finds new works. And obviously the artists who worked with Mondo, I'm hoping that because there are other artists publishing out there, that we can continue to see their work too. But it sucks, man, because I'm looking at like the posters I have on my walls right now. I'm looking at the things, the collectibles, the magazines, all of this. There was such a love of movies there, and Mondo was created by the same founders of like Alamo Drafthouse, and Alamo Drafthouse went into bankruptcy, and it's coming back and it's doing its thing. So it's like, it's a really hard time to be in the movie world right now.
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of those things where, especially the world that we're going into financially after the pandemic and all of that, it sucks. It really does suck. And it's sad to see things like this. It's sad to see a brand like Mondo go away, who was so beloved by the movie community. Right. As an outsource where, there's some terrible movie posters out there. You could be an awful movie, but you could have a really cool poster. Yeah. Right. And I think that's like one of the identities, that they were really a celebration of movies, and to see that going away it's hard.
And they always had a unique name, like Mondo Tees, Mondo Prints. To even lose that, it's so heartbreaking, because when you hear it, you think of movie posters. You think of that, and then they kind of went into creating vinyls and action figures and all that stuff.
Tiki jars.
And I just, man, I'm so shocked.
It sucks.
So shocked that
I'm
this
very
happened.
very shocked. Because this is shitty. Like, we love Mondo. We have again we have so much stuff from them. Anthony, how many posters from Mondo do you think you have?
I think I have like 200, 300.
Yeah.
Wow.
200. Yeah. At least 200.
Yeah. So that's insane. Like, you're a crazy
And they're
person.
not all Mondo, but a big portion. Like, I got into Mondo because one year I was going through GQ magazine. It was like 2007, 2006.
Gentleman's Quarterly. And I came across like this article on cool. I think the title was like cool prints or cool movie posters. And they had like all these different versions of film posters by a different artist. And I think this one, I think they had like There Will Be Blood, and it was all orange. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. Because I was into like design and like, oh, that looks wicked. Like, I like the structure and the art style to it. Different version of a actual film poster. Someone who drew it, and it's all graphic design. And that's how I got into it. It was back in 2007, 2008.
And then it slowly grew and slowly got bigger. And, you know, there's artists that...
The posters were so cheap at that time, too.
Rory Kurtz and Tyler Stout.
Matt Ferguson,
Ollie Moss. These were like big movie poster designers who started there. And then you got like Bottleneck Gallery, you got all these other galleries that have come up after the fact. And I don't know if Bottleneck was around at that time either. But Mondo was what really got me into it. And that's where I started. I think my first print that I ever bought was an Ollie Moss, Batman, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a timed version.
Yeah.
I think that was my first print. And then from there I went ham. Like I tried to get everything. And it's one of those products that sell out in seconds.
Yeah.
Sell out in seconds.
Yeah.
Seconds.
You're lucky if you get in the cart.
Yeah. Do you think going forward now, because like a poster would come out limited to 200?
Yeah, they're all numbered. They're all numbered.
Do you guys think that there is a way back for Mondo? Do you think there is going to be like, we're going to somehow keep this poster division, this alive somehow, or it's going to come back in a different way?
I can see Mitch and Rob kind of, I mean, I know that they clearly struggled because they needed to be bought out at a certain point when it came to their prints. I can see them take what experience that they've had and learned and kind of come out and start something else that could be poster related or could be still movie related.
It's just clearly they have a love for it, right? Like, that's a lot of infrastructure to build.
I think the community's there. I think they have like the connections and they have the people. Like there are tons and tons of people that's why these prints sell out instantly.
I wonder if they ever come back and they stop doing the limited prints, because I also think that there's such a huge aftermarket for these posters that Mondo never saw money for.
But Mondo was big on that because that's what they cherish, the idea of having limited edition pop culture items.
For sure. But I feel like it's evident that it probably it wasn't working for
people.
them.
Won't gravitate to it. Or I think they'll lose
people
that.
Won't gravitate towards when it's not exclusive.
Exactly.
It's
like shoes, man. It's like sneakers.
Yeah.
But it sucks though, because obviously it wasn't enough to keep them afloat though either.
No.
Right? Because we don't know the numbers that Mondo was having for their posters. So if they sell 150 posters, that's great. But is that enough to keep the business afloat? And it obviously wasn't. They would have hopefully kept Mondo alive if it was making money, and it feels like it wasn't at this point, right? And it sucks.
I think it got really big, but it wasn't making enough money because the manufacturing of these prints cost a lot of money, and they also have to pay the artist. And then
shipping it out.
And then they also have to pay, well, I'm guessing, the lease on their building and all this stuff, and their and the workers and the amount of work that goes into it.
It's a lot.
Licensing fees too, probably.
Exactly. They have to pay licensing fees. That's why there's so much Back to the Future stuff.
And also that's also why there's also a limitation on how many posters you can have. So it wasn't even just exclusivity. It's like, let's just say Warner Brothers was like, hey, yeah, sure, make Lord of the Rings print. Only 200 though.
And only you could sell it in the US.
Yeah.
So like it's things like that where I feel like Funko is probably looking at this and be like, we don't want this headache anymore.
It was a bad decision for them to even buy it because, you know, with less than a year, whoever
it was good for the founders of it because they got their money,
million,
right? But they're
20 million,
30 million.
30 million.
Yeah.
But for them to like buy something like this and to shut it down within less than a year, how did you not know as a company that this was not going to be a success for you? And they weren't even making good prints. That whole year of 2022 was trash.
I was all bottleneck gallery, yeah. But you know what's interesting too? Again, not to get to weird conspiracy theory shit, but like, there's probably some tax law where it's like, hey, if you buy a company and within the first year you have to close it, you'll probably get your money back somehow. You know what I mean?
That's an awful law.
but you know what I mean? No, like I wouldn't be surprised. It's the same thing where it's like, oh,
I get it.
You could shoot a movie like Batgirl, and if you not release it, we'll give you your money back. Like, why is this even a thing? You know what I mean? But I honestly think there's probably some type of tax break that Funko is now going to be getting because they closed
tax season too.
Yeah. So I that's the thing. Quarters are ending, taxes are due, and I think that's literally what's happening here.
I think they'll come back. I do. It sucks they won't have the name. They won't have Mondo. And Mondo and just like the design of that title and the way it looked, it had a unique look to it, and I just will always look at that.
Or someone will buy the name of it, but it's like, yeah, it's the name Mondo, but it's not the team and stuff that made Mondo Mondo.
And that's something I miss. I never went to Texas to go to the gallery and see.
We should go.
I don't think it'll be there anymore.
It might still be there.
No, they're
shutting it down?
Shutting down everything, man.
But they might still have the gallery, though.
No, man. Funko owns everything. They own the world, dude.
You can get your own Funko Pop while you're there, too, though.
Now it's just going to be called Funko.
Yeah. Funko Mondo. It sucks. I mean, this is shitty. It's but I do think that Mitch and Rob might do something a bit different in the sense of like they'll still come back with maybe a poster business because they expanded too much. They got way too big and they couldn't afford it anymore. I think
you think they'll come back after selling? Like because then they sell the poster business to Funko?
I think they'll do their own thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Like what I said in the beginning.
No, but they're the ones who sold it to Funko, right?
Yeah, they sold it to Funko, but I think that they can still come back and make maybe another poster business or something in the movie world.
Maybe, yeah, but I don't see why they would sell their business to start another competing business that just got closed.
They stopped it now though, right? Like their Funko's not going to be doing Mondo prints.
No, I know, but they sold it to Funko, so I don't know why they would sell it just to create the same business.
The reason why I think is because they got so big they weren't able to sustain it anymore.
I don't know.
When they sold it, did they leave?
No, they were fired, so they were
still part of it. So they had still like this idea that we were going to make prints and vinyls and action figures and all that. So I don't think they want to close. I think they made money. Maybe they can reinvest that money into because Bottleneck is doing it. There's so many other galleries that do it.
Yeah. Right. And you just wonder like how they're like, I don't know how the money works for all of them, but I hope whatever they do next, like there is something in relation to the things that we love or they could just be like burnt by it and be like, we don't want to be in this industry anymore. Right.
Yeah. Anything is possible. Quick updates. We have Robert Downey Jr. looking to star in a Vertigo remake. Jordan Peele's next film is arriving Christmas 2024. Denzel Washington and Barry Keoghan join Ridley Scott's Gladiator sequel, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2. Returning actor Ralph Saxon is coming back, and he's from the first film. So that's going to be...
What is this movie, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are these movies going to be?
Is he still the agent? He's still the same
He's probably still working for the...
Like, wouldn't he be fired?
CIA.
He let him in.
He didn't let him in?
Yeah.
He didn't. He got drugged.
Yeah, he should.
He had mad diarrhea.
Yeah. What kind of agent
has diarrhea?
Doesn't know that he's being drugged?
Well, I mean, he was tempted by a seductress.
Dude.
Tom Cruise is a seductress.
No, it was the girl.
It could have been Tom Cruise in a mask.
I think he's fired and he's angry at Tom. He's going to go after him.
But he never met Tom, though.
He knows it's him.
Oh, he knows?
Okay.
He knows it's Hunt. He knows it's Hunt.
What if he comes back with a knife and stabs Tom?
I think he'll definitely come back and be like, forgot this. And he's been holding on to this
horrible.
knife. He's been holding on to this knife for like 30 years.
That's terrible. I hope they don't do that.
He's the main villain.
I'm telling you, that knife is coming back in Dead Reckoning.
It'll probably come back, though.
Is he in part 2? Or is he in one?
Part 2.
Okay,
or he's cutting a sandwich with it.
Yeah.
Oh.
The first thing we're going to see with him is
but that wasn't even Tom's knife, though.
No, but
that was Jean Reno's.
But he was just holding the knife and he was just looking at it. So
he's like, I'm gonna get you, Jean.
I got a tattoo of this knife on me so I never forget.
But that's the whole thing. He thinks it's Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
But it's actually...
Because it was the CIA they broke into, right?
Yeah.
And the CIA knew that IMF broke into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they don't know who's part of the IMF, though?
Yeah, but because remember in was it Rogue Nation that Alec Baldwin's character says that like our dealings with the IMF go back to when they infiltrated us back in the day.
Yeah,
there's bad blood there, man.
What if he's just washing his car and he sees Ethan Hunt he does that stunt?
He's just an extra.
And he's washing his car and he's like,
but he's washing with a knife.
But he has a knife. But he has a hose in one hand.
The knife always. He actually cut off his left hand and replaced it with a knife.
Yeah, old razor knife.
He's Captain Knife.
Captain Knife now. Cool. I mean, that's great to see.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. He was my favorite character in the movie. Why? Let's get into some box office. Cha-ching! Yeah, good. You didn't do it. I'm glad.
I'm never going to do it.
Only Daniel and I.
I'm never going.
You'll never be part of this.
No.
Box office. John Wick opens what?
Box office.
John Wick 4 opens with a staggering $73.5 million. This is a series record, and that's domestic, obviously. Worldwide, though, we're looking at $137.5 million. That's the third weekend this month to post a record open. This is Keanu Reeves' second biggest opening of his career, second biggest movie of 2023, and it's the 12th biggest opening ever for an R-rated film. Each John Wick film has gotten more money than the last one. So that can only mean we're going to be getting a part 5 or something. I mean, we are getting the ballerina film with Ana de Armas.
Is it a film or is it a series?
I don't know anymore.
I think it's a series.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're getting a series,
or it could be a movie and then the series was canceled. Something like that. There's a lot of stuff to expand within the John Wick world.
5 is going to have both of them in it.
Ana de Armas in it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, why
Mondo. And they're gonna be teammates.
teammates? Yeah,
That was-
her scene in No Time to Die, I think one of the best moments in that
It's
film.
looking like it's a film directed
a
by
film?
Len Weissman. So
Yeah,
Ooh, Lynn Wiseman.
I know.
we'll see, but it's
We'll
nice that it did
see.
well. I mean, it's a wild movie. You go listen to our review of it now, but yeah, it's nice to see. March was a strong month for sequels and older film franchises, right? With Creed, Scream, and now John Wick are doing well.
Coming
But,
back. Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I would say John Wick really, like, from the last 3 films, they really changed like the action. Like the action is
They focus on it more.
it's so much.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good action, but I mean, like, it elevated. It's not
Oh,
just
yeah.
a small elevation. It's a
Yeah.
very like huge elevation.
You
in
see
the
the,
action.
you see the money in this one. You
Yeah.
see the
Yeah,
money
yeah.
in this one a lot more than I think you did in the first one, especially, which felt like a lot more of a smaller film. This one feels like a huge film.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's wicked. That's wicked. Obviously, we have trailers. So we gotta.
Was there nothing else like worth in box office?
I mean, we can talk about Shazam and not doing so hot.
Yeah.
Scream in
Shazam.
3rd place. Creed 3 in 4th place.
Well, we could say like Creed 3 is coming out.
This week?
This week?
Digital, yeah.
Yeah.
So when do you think Scream's coming out? Next the
2
following?
months? I think 2 months. I think 60 days for Paramount.
Really? They're gonna
Yeah.
keep it in there.
I think we'll see Scream digital by the end of April. I think it's possible by the end of April. We'll see it.
I just feel like if you once you make your money in the first 2-3 weeks, you're out. Like it's
Yeah.
just more money to put that movie in there.
Right.
Well, they also
Truthfully.
reduced it in the amount of theaters that they're putting it in, right? So,
Because you always think, you look at Top Gun, right? Top Gun was that movie that just kept making money. Like,
yeah. That's never going to happen
Special.
again, like that.
you never know. But again, like, you never know when it comes, like, I mean, maybe Mission Impossible is that.
I
Mission
hope so.
Impossible is going to be in theaters
Forever?
forever. Look
I
at
hope.
Avatar,
I
still in
hope.
theaters. This is the last week that Avatar is going to be available exclusively in theaters.
But Avatar's bang for your buck though. Avatar, as many months it's been in theaters, it made money. It
Yeah.
was guaranteeing you money.
Yeah, but
You were not losing money.
no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what's wild. That like it's been in theaters. It's only coming out in digital this week.
We had
And
a
then
great,
not even Plus yet.
we had a
Disney
great
Plus.
conversation before we started recording about the Mario movie. And Daniel, your belief that it will be the first $1 billion film of the year.
I think it can be. I think it can be for sure.
You said it will.
I think
You-
it will make $1 billion.
Yeah, you said yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think it will
don't
make $1 billion.
backpedal, sir.
No. I'm not. I think it will make $1 billion. I think it has the potential to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else coming close to being $1 billion movie this year until I don't even think Mission.
There was Spider-Man. There's the
Spider-Verse
animated.
won't.
Spider-Verse one.
Spider-Verse?
The first one didn't make that much money.
Yeah, I think this new one will do better than the first
Yes.
one, but I don't think it will hit $1 billion.
No.
But I think
It'd be nice if
Mario
it did.
has the worldwide appeal. Like it's going to do what Avatar did. Mario is massive around the world, and this being like the first movie of his, not including the 90s one, I think this one has the potential to hit $1 billion worldwide. Because Illumination is making a big deal of this. Like they just dropped an ad where all the Illumination characters are going to watch it in theaters. Did you guys see that one?
No.
Where it's like the Despicable Me characters, Secret Life of Pets, Sing, like they're all going to buy tickets to watch Mario. So like this movie has a lot of, I think, power behind it, especially with Nintendo never doing movies before. I think this is going to do well.
But if Minions are going to go see a movie, I don't want to see that movie though.
But if it's the Mario movie, I'll go see it. As long as they're not at my screening,
What if they are?
then I'll watch it. As long
You
as
will
they're
watch
quiet.
if they're literally behind you, be like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." And you're
That's when
you're
I'll
just
get
sitting there.
violent
You're
in the
like,
theater.
"Oh my god, I'm just trying to watch the
Dude,
movie."
we're making that happen. We're gonna make it as difficult as possible for Daniel to watch this film.
Dude, I will.
Why don't we just stab him at this point? I feel like
Where's that knife? Where's
Yeah,
like-
Rob
like-
Sachs is gonna come
Yeah.
and just stab Daniel while watching the movie.
No.
This is-
On my birthday too. Thank you guys. How about 30 stabs?
Well, you said you don't want to turn 30, so
No, I didn't say I didn't want to.
no,
30.
you said it before we recorded. You're like,
No,
I don't want to turn
It
30.
kind of had like this
Yeah.
vibe that I don't want
I
to
don't
be
wanna
30.
Yeah, because I don't want to be
Yeah.
like you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So then we'll just kill you.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering,
Yeah.
how big is Mario? Because
Yeah.
in our world, Mario's huge. Like we grew up with him. We part of our lives.
He's
like,
our god.
he's my god,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah. It's Italian.
it's Italian.
He's actually my cousin.
So like, do kids still gravitate to Mario? I don't know. I don't have children.
Okay,
I
good.
don't know anyone from the ages of 1 to 13.
Seems like you're doing a lot of like backpedaling here. For like listen, I don't know any kids.
I don't know any kids.
Never know kids.
I don't talk to kids.
Okay, good.
I hate kids.
Oh, okay. You're gonna really hate the party movie.
Because I have I have my niece who she doesn't really mention Mario, but she loves like Roblox and she loves playing video games. She loves all that, but she never really gravitates to Mario and the character of Mario.
Sure.
So I'm wondering, does Mario make that billion? Are kids really interested in the Mario movie?
Right. I think it's still possible for sure. I am curious though on the kids front of, do kids still gravitate towards Mario because like my cousins, they don't have any affiliation with Mario at all. They don't care. So it's always curious. I don't also know any kids really other than outside of my family, and any ones that I've ever met don't really seem to talk about Mario. I still do believe though that Mario is a popular figure with kids. I just don't know any kids that watch or listen.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you are both incorrect, and
That
you should die.
We don't have kids that like Mario?
No. I think like when you look at Mario on the world stage, most popular video game character.
Agreed.
And and you have 40 years of this character with people who have a background in it. And this is also the first kids movie coming out this year. So I think this movie is going to do really, really well.
Really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree on that front. I'm just saying my personal experience. I don't know kids that know Mario, which is always interesting to me, because I felt like in our day and age, everyone knew Mario. Like it was
everyone.
Like all the kids were talking about Mario.
But your cousins know who Mario is, though.
But they don't really talk about him though.
Right.
Like, they don't care about Mario.
Right.
Like,
but they know who he is, though.
Well, of course. Everyone knows who Mario is, but I'm talking about like in terms of, do they care?
Right. But will they have friends that will care enough to go watch the movie and have their birthdays and stuff, right?
I wonder,
You wonder.
I wonder.
But I think this movie will do well.
I think so too.
Do you think it'll beat Sonic?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sonic's fine. Like the Sonic movies are fine, but like this Mario movie looks like it's a video game come to life. Sonic looks like it's...
Dude, I'm reading an article right here. It says Sonic's the most coveted superhero character
I'm
ever.
surprised
Written
you
by
could
you.
read, first of all.
Yeah, written by Anthony
Sonic.
Galliardi, though. It's
All the kids know
name
Sonic.
Yeah.
They don't know Mario.
No,
Sonic. So I like Sonic, but I always felt like Sonic was trying so hard to be cool. It's like, I'm Sonic, I'm cool. It's like, kid, dude, relax.
But he is cool.
But he hasn't had a good video game.
But see, you didn't grow up.
I did grow up with Sonic.
Did you? When Sonic 1 came out, were you even alive?
No. Yeah, I was alive when Sonic 1 came out.
Sonic was cool.
Yeah, Sonic was cool,
Sonic
but he's
was
not
cool?
as cool.
Yeah,
As Mario's not cool. Mario's just like...
But Mario's like Coca-Cola. Like they're like that brand where it's like you don't need to, like, you are so strong in what you are. Like you don't need to try and appeal to anyone because the fact that you
has a
are
mustache.
Sonic is like
iconic.
Mountain Dew and Mario's like Coke. Kane. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm 100% behind Mario. I'm just wondering.
Well, you have to be because
you hate the Italians.
You're part of the Gestapo, right?
No, all I'm saying is, I think we all know this movie's going to do well at the box office.
Yeah,
we
we're
do.
We're not arguing that.
I'm wondering if it hits $1 billion or if it's as popular as we think it's going to be.
I think it'll be
because I don't trust anything that I see anymore.
I don't trust kids.
I don't trust kids.
Look at the box office. We're going into April. There's not a lot of competition with movies come April. We have Dungeons and Dragons, which is coming out this week. We have Mario dropping midweek, going into the long weekend, the Easter weekend, where people are off. People won't be taking their kids to it. First kids movie of the year, and it's of the biggest video game character ever. I think
it's tracking about 85 to 90 right now, and I think that's them being generous.
Yeah. So I think Mario. My prediction, I think we'll hit 100 opening weekend, and I think that worldwide it's going to hit $1 billion.
Is it opening in China? Do we know?
I don't know. Yeah.
John Wick opened in China.
Yeah. And that's also another factor too that we don't think about with with box office, because we were talking about that earlier with Ant-Man and Shazam. A lot of these movies are opening up without China and Russia now, where pre-pandemic they were opening up with them. So a lot of the box office is like $200 million less than what we're used to seeing.
China also has to pick the film too, right? It does not every film can open up in the Chinese Republic.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go into some trailers then. We already did our trailers jingle. So let's jump into trailers.
Mario movie's opening in China.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
we have Blackberry, Strays, Big Shark, Joyride, and Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. For me, the highlight was Blackberry. I think this trailer looks so damn good. It looked so funny. Canadian film as well, which is super awesome. And we have, Glenn Howerton and Jay Baruchel in it. And it just looks so good. It looks like that blend of comedy that I really want, but also that serious tone that I love getting from The Social Network and Steve Jobs, that Aaron Sorkin level. What about you guys?
Blackberry for me, this looks fantastic. I think Glenn Howerton looks great. Jay Baruchel looks great. And, Matt Johnson directing this, who obviously from Nirvana, the band.
Nirvana?
Oh, God, Nirvana, the band.
Yeah.
Nirvana. This looks great. I think this is really going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it. I'm so jealous of everyone that we know who's watched it already.
Yeah, honestly.
But very excited for this one. And then, the only other one this week that really stood out was Strays, which it's interesting getting a talking dog movie that's adult rated. So it's just like, I feel like it's going to come, when that movie comes out, it's going to be that thing of like, oh, parents took their kids to this thinking that it was a kid's movie, and then it's actually like an adult movie. I hope it's good, but I'm also not really drawn to like the talking animals movies. So
yeah, only thing that's keeping me interested in that film is Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah, so hopefully it delivers. Hopefully it's a great time.
Maybe it's like Cocaine Bear.
Yeah,
you guys love Cocaine Bear.
Yeah,
you should love this.
Sure.
I don't know.
What did you like in these trailers, huh?
I don't really like, nothing connect. I guess the Blackberry trailer, it's called Blackberry.
Yeah, it's called Blackberry.
That's cool. I never owned a Blackberry, so I don't think you have to own a Blackberry to like the movie, though. I think so.
No. I don't think that's how it works.
I've never owned a Blackberry.
I've never owned a Blackberry.
And I
never owned a Blackberry, so
because of that, I will never watch this film.
Yeah.
You guys own Blackberry. I know you guys own Blackberries.
I had a Blackberry.
I know you guys own Blackberries.
Yeah, because we had popular phones when the phone.
Yeah.
No, I had an iPhone.
Yeah, but
you had an iPhone before it came out.
Before the iPhone came out?
When did Blackberry come out?
Blackberry's been out since forever, man. Like
what year?
Like 98, I think.
You had a Blackberry since 98.
No, I had a Blackberry in 2005.
Okay, I had an iPhone, 2007, and then I had a Razor.
1999.
You went to
before that. I had a Razor,
said, right? 98.
Yeah. Did you say 98?
I think so.
You said you got one in 2005, and then it came out in 98.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have a phone in 98.
Yeah, and the first iPhone that came out in Canada was until 2008.
Yeah, but I went to the States to buy mine.
Yeah,
and I had.
What'd you have before your iPhone?
A Razor.
Oh,
that was cool.
Motorola Razor.
You had a Razor.
Motorola Razor.
I had a Blackberry.
Yeah.
What Blackberry?
Who were you making deals with?
Huh?
Who were you making deals with?
I was making deals with people right now that that are too important for you. You wouldn't even know them. You were on a Razor. They were looking at you and spitting on you.
Dude, Razors were cool. You literally can use it as a weapon.
Cool. What?
Because it's a Razor, right? You take it out, you flip it up. I had iTunes on it too.
You probably had the pink one too, right? The Parasol.
No, mine was like a purplish.
Bejeweled?
No.
Yeah.
The pink one was probably. My sister had the pink one. I had a silver one.
Blackberry.
Razor?
Yeah.
Drug dealers had Blackberries.
Not the bold. The people that were drug dealers had the curve, Blackberry curve.
I had the Blackberry Tour. Yeah.
And that also, they were drug dealers too.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Sorry, you won't understand the film, but when you watch it, what is this?
The moment iPhone came out, that's my phone. I'll never go to another phone.
Ever since the iPhone came out, that's all I've had.
No,
sorry, I just want to get. Do you think we use Blackberries now?
Yeah, I feel like you do.
We have an iMessage chat,
dude. I know you have another internal chat that uses BlackBerry BBM messaging.
Yeah,
I
100%.
Yeah, we BBM each other all the time.
I know you take out another phone.
You send me your pin right now.
Oh my god, remember that?
Yeah. Pin, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
What a time that was for you.
What a time. Big Shark is the next directorial film from Tommy Wiseau, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. I might
like Tommy Wiseau had its moment, and then that's it.
Like, you know what? People can like his films. I don't care. You do, enjoy his movies.
Sure.
It's all you.
This movie looks like Sharknado, though.
Without the tornado.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like something we've seen. At least the other one was something was unique. It was different.
You mean The Room?
The Room.
Yeah. Was it unique?
Yeah, but it was a product of its time. It was an independent film. Now it looks like
it was something.
He's trying to go mainstream with like an action.
Yeah, well, thanks to Disaster Artist and the popularity of The Room now, he has the capital to do that, I guess.
I would say keep that capital. and retire and make like home movies or something.
Maybe this is a home movie for him, you know?
It kind of looks like it.
Out this week, we have Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which will be out in theaters. Our review is out for that as well. Give it a listen. And then on Apple TV Plus, you'll be seeing Tetris.
Really quickly, there is Jonathan Majors' lawyer just put out a quick statement.
Oh, okay.
Says Jonathan Majors is completely innocent and probably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows. We are quickly gathering and presenting evidence to the district attorney with expectation that all charges will be dropped eminently. This evidence includes video footage from the vehicle where the episode took place, witness testimony from the driver and others who saw and heard the episode, and most importantly, 2 written statements from the woman recanting these allegations. All the evidence proves that Mr. Majors is entirely innocent and did not assault her whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as soon as we start to see that information come out, most likely in the next episode, we'll have a little update on that.
We'll see what the prosecutors or because the city is happened in New York, right?
NYPD, yeah.
So New York can actually press charges if they feel like this was actually, because a lot of times, people, pay money to recant shit and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, I'll give you this. Don't say it. We'll go. If New York, the NYPD thinks, you know what, we're still gonna attack this, they will.
Yeah. So we'll see what comes of this. But it's now all starting to come out.
Law and Order.
Yeah.
Ding ding.
Yeah. What are we watching, Daniel?
There's a lot of stuff that we've been watching this week. Most of it we have reviews out, which is definitely go check it out. The Big Door Prize is one that we speak about a bunch on our interviews, which will be coming out this week. So definitely go check that out. Got to watch Scream 6 again, watch Tetris, which we'll have our thoughts out later this week. And The Night Agent, which I, started off a little bit slow, but then I really started to have a really great time with it. But yeah, those are the big ones for me. And then just been watching just random things here and there, but nothing else too major.
Very nice. Anthony, what about yourself?
I started the week with The Night Agent, and then I went into the Big Door Prize. We have interviews for them, so kind of went through that whole series really quickly. Very good on both. I enjoyed them. Put on Beef. Watch that. I don't know if I could talk about Beef. I can't talk about Beef
yet.
But Beef, which is an A24 production, which will be on Netflix. Unstable. I also watched Kill Boksoon, which is a Netflix movie that I can't talk about yet.
No.
Succession I could talk about. We have our review for episode 1 out right now. You can go and listen to that. Really good episode 1. And what else? Dead Ringers, which I can't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of I can't talk about. Oh, I also watched City on Fire, which I can't talk about.
Oh my god.
And Tetris. Dude, I'm so in the future now. Like, there are productions that are coming out in May. Yeah. I've already watched.
You've already seen Ballerina.
I've already watched it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I've already watched it. I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I can't talk.
Tell us after.
Not even shot
no
yet.
comment.
I've already seen it.
No comment. The optics on this is no comment.
Oh,
no comment.
let me guess. You watched Succession?
The Succession.
Stupid.
Shay, what about you?
I watched The Night Agent, Beef, which I can't talk about. Succession, I binged the entire series this week. I felt disgusting, especially because I did season 3 in one day. I felt so gross.
What do you think of the series? Do you think it's like one of the best written series ever on TV?
No. I really like it. I really, really like it. I think it's phenomenal.
Why do you not think that?
Maybe, I don't know. It's not. I'm not trying to say it's not. It is phenomenal, and I think because of recency, that is what I almost want to say. But I really loved the show, and I really like it. I think season 3 though wasn't amazing for me. Like, it was okay, it was good. There's some good moments, but season 2 was phenomenal. Like, I loved season 2. I thought season 2, like, I could watch it again right now. Actually, I don't want to because I feel pretty burnt out. And I'm excited to see what season 4 brings. Let's just say that. So yeah, I really love the show. I think it's fantastic, and I'm curious to see where this season goes as a final season. But I love it. I don't know if it's the best written show of all time, but I do love it though. Is that okay with you?
I want you to be on the same page with me, man.
I have the book in my hand. I'm getting that page.
You just slapped that book in my face.
Oh, was it a big book or a thin book?
It was a pretty, like, it was a 1,000-page book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Bible.
Wow. What's War and Peace?
Hardcover.
Oh, good. Was there a soft cover of the Bible out there, by the way?
There is.
Paperback?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Why? Make only hardcovers.
Well,
there's
Catholics.
hard and soft covers of every type of book out there.
Yeah, but why the Bible? Bible should always be hardcover.
It should be stone.
Yes. I'll hit you with that one.
I die.
Oh yeah. Big door prize. Watch this other show called Jury Duty, which I think is coming out this week or next week. It's really fun.
Can we talk about it?
I don't think so. I don't think we can talk about it. But it's fun.
The trailer looked fantastic.
Yeah. The idea behind the show is really cool. It's 12 jurors. 11 of them are actors, and one of them is a real person, and everything is fake that's happening around this person. And James Marsden's in the show playing himself as well. He's one of the actors, and it's just the insanity that occurs in a jury where this guy's like, what the hell is going on? Why? Like, everyone is just so animated and over the top, and he doesn't get what's happening.
It takes place over many days.
Like, I think it's a week-ish.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy.
That's crazy. Like, to think to be part of something where you know that there's only one person who's real, and everyone, like,
it's like a long form
to
punked.
keep your composure and to like not give it up. That must be like,
especially how insane they get, like with certain stuff. I'm like, how do they not break? Like, these are really good actors.
Yeah.
Scream 6, when to go watch it again, Tetris, Dead Ringers, and yeah, I think that's about it. A lot of stuff I can't talk about.
It's our new movie podcast name.
Can't talk about it.
Movie podcast. Can't talk about it.
Cool. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. Is there anything you guys wanted to bring up or kind of touch on in terms of news or anything that we didn't get to discuss today?
Just stay tuned for all of the interviews we have dropping this week.
Yeah.
We have a few interviews dropping this week. We have some more reviews dropping this week. And then next week we'll have, our reviews of the Super Mario Brothers movie, of Air, and lots more coming. So stay tuned for all of that.
Wow. Yeah.
We have so many things down this pipeline, down this Mario pipe line.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's good. That's good.
It's Daniel's birthday too.
Yep.
So we'll talk
too.
about then our next episode. We'll talk about what
we may not have a next episode. So if we don't,
we'll talk about when I turn 31.
but please do wish Daniel a happy birthday on April 3rd. If you're listening to this episode on April 4th, then what's your problem? Now you missed it.
Instead,
now you missed it.
Do you prefer people to say happy birthday to you on your birthday or the day after?
What?
Do you prefer people to say good morning to you in the morning or when it's nighttime? No, here's the thing.
When do you like your happy birthdays?
I get what Anthony's saying, because like I'll have people sometimes like they'll wish me happy birthday like a couple days before or whatever.
Sure.
Or afterwards, happy belated birthday. That's fine. But
what do you prefer? Most people prefer it on the day of, right?
I prefer it the day of, sure.
Weird.
But if you wish it to me before or after, I'm not going to be like, I don't accept. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't accept your birthday.
Or turn back time. No, like I'll say, oh, thank you so much.
They're dead to you.
But you are dead to me. Yeah. But I don't tell them that though. I'll give them the glimmer of hope.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Don't forget, you can follow us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Leave us a review and 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Join our Discord as well. We'll be opening up a room for Succession.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
And literally once we hit end recording, I'm going to open that room.
If you're listening, I want the first comment to be fuck off. If you're listening, that's the first comment in the Succession chat.
Okay. You should probably write it then.
Yeah, when we start, I'll be the first.
It'll be in a few minutes. That was This Time with the Movie Podcast,
and we'll see you next.